know, one thing I think about, and being in these red states, it make me, Ohio, is that I grew up with elderly people. When I was a kid, my mother was working all the time and stuff. I grew up with my grandparents and my uncles and all that, and the house, and I just kind of older things, learning about the war and stuff. And one thing about this whole moment of calling everything that's black DEI and calling the black veterans that fought in their wars DEI. And if you think that black men, this is what the cracker says, this is what Trump says, that you think that a black man that got the Medal of Honor in Vietnam was given at their DEI. That you actually think that. One thing about this moment is that a lot of these white people are going to lose Medicare and Social Security. They voted to make my life worse. They voted to hurt us and to further put us back. We got to deal with that. But ultimately, they will be hurt. And as much as I go in these red states, white people, and I laugh and I tell my little jokes and I pretend and the whole time I'm ready to take you about this world and you'll never even know it. I'm ready. You're dealing with a person that understands just what the moment means. And there's a sorrow I have, even knowing they voted to hurt me, and will continue to do so, to know that they're going to grow old without those government entitlements, Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid. They're going to lose them. That this funding is more than just poor people and sick people. This is hospitals. It's all kind of state stuff that's going to dry up. All because you wanted to vote for Trump. All because you wanted to vote for this antiquated notion of America that doesn't exist anymore. But because you did this, and you'll do it again, you're going to lose things that ultimately mean worse health outcomes for elderly people. And I'm going to say something. This is even though I knew my enemy, it makes me sad to know that for a lot of white folks and Trump supporters, they're going to wind up in a home when there were programs that were out there or that we've been talking about creating with Kamala that would have ensured you had another 10 to 15 years that you could live in your house. That all it takes, one fall, hip fracture, all the things that happen when you get old, you're out of there. The people that live in rural communities, white people, there won't be hospitals. Or there'll be less funding to the hospitals, which equals a worse health outcome. And that's scary. I'm a black man that lives in a blue state, and I'm scared for these white people. And a part of me, at this moment, I feel weak for caring about my enemy. That's how I see them. I feel weak that I care and that I shouldn't care. And that they pick their side, I should stick with mine. But I've got to say, that maybe they're okay with giving up everything they fought for, and the morals and the values and the integrity and the decency and that shared belief in human values and human dignity that I think America once had. That's gone for me. Can't get that. That's gone for me. In my mind, we're living in RoboCop. We're living in RoboCop 3. That's it. You voted for rich white men to run the country. They can do what they want. There's an unequal law for the rich, and you're willing to fight to keep it that way. But still, through all that, the idea of getting old without those government entitlements and protections, and it makes me sad. Because I know what that means when you're elderly. You're not working. Or you're not working, you're not working 40 hours a week. You're not working like that. you're living somewhere and you're doing what you can to keep going, to know there's no light at the end of the tunnel for you. And it's you voted for this. You voted for this. You willingly did it. All to make some gay person, a trans person, or black person, somebody, somewhere, or Hispanic person, for a brief moment, feel uncomfortable. You were willing to give up all the hard-fought gains that would ensure you aging gracefully and not having to worry about how my bills, how my health care. Elections have consequences.